Viewer beware.
Hey, welcome back to Viewer Beware. It's the only show where we go over each and every episode of the Goosebumps TV series. Mirrors are kind of creepy, aren't they? You kind of look into them long enough and you start to get the willies.
That's just your face.
Okay, well, anyway, there's actually a lot of myth and folklore that goes into this creepiness of mirrors that dates back thousands of years. People believe that they're a portal to another dimension, or they hold the spirits of loved ones, or even that they're like a negative energy transfer device. This is actually called spectrophobia. It's sort of the fear that there's this liminal space between us and our reflection, and that's where dark entities start to lie. And that's sort of the case in tonight's episode, Let's Get Invisible. It's a story about two brothers that find a mirror that seemingly gives them superpowers, but not everything's what it seems. Sure, we've seen it before, but have we seen it with an extended chase scene through a mirror montage? I don't think so. And so with that, let's go ahead and crack open a cold one. Ugh, and embrace the cold. We begin with our hero Max and his friend Aaron going through a variety of items they find in Max's attic. As the two are cleaning, they hear a rumble in a cabinet.
Oh, as if.
Turns out it's just Max's little brother Noah, trying to play a prank on the pair before accusing them of kissing in the attic and dropping an important lore point.
Left-handers rule.
After that, Max knocks over a series of items that unveils yet another secret room, with only an ominous mirror in the center. Max pulls the drawstring on the mirror thinking it was a light, which was kinda half correct. After the flash, Max is straight up gone. Or is he?
What's with you guys?
Max, you were gone.
Aaron and Noah explain that he was invisible during that time, and they all quickly piece together how this magical item works. Max tells them all that this is now their super secret hideout, because who can resist a good hideout? And the others swear to secrecy. That night, Max is checking his reflection after brushing his teeth, and he can't resist the urge to test out the invisible mirror some more. Turns out Noah had the same thought, and they both pulled the drawstring at the same time.
Oh wow, you're invisible.
So are you!
It's gotta be some kind of trick.
The mirror, oddly enough, makes them both totally invisible, except for their flashlights. How does the mirror know to make the held items visible, but the worn items invisible? We may never know. The kids start rattling off things that they could accomplish while invisible before both start feeling dizzy and sick and decide to reappear. Max is cautious about the new power and wants to tell their parents, but Noah convinces him to keep it a secret for a little bit longer so they can have some fun. The next day, Max is hanging out with Aaron and his other friend Zach, who's unveiling his cool new rebellious earring. The two have been alluding to Zach about a mysterious secret that they had to show him.
It's only the most incredible discovery in the entire universe.
Yeah, right. That's the most incredible thing in the entire universe.
Noah, after seeing all of them go to the secret hideout, busts Max's chops about spilling the beans, so he shuts the light off for him. Aaron and Max don't reappear right away, but kinda slowly. This is absolutely concerning, so they decide to run some tests to see how long it takes to reappear.
We could do experiments.
Isn't that sort of dangerous?
Well, how else are we supposed to understand how it works?
Max flips on the light, but now he's not just invisible, he's not even in the room anymore. Noah panics and pulls the string but accidentally breaks it off, so Aaron jerry-rigs a string and pulls it for him. Max eventually reappears, but he's freezing cold and has no clue what happened.
Brain freeze. Total vapor lock.
No. It was like a strange dream. Sort of scary.
After Max almost died, he says this should be off limits, but Zach and Noah are hearing none of it, because they haven't got a chance to play yet. At breakfast, Max asks his parents if they've ever noticed anything strange in the house before items start lifting off the table. Max knows this is Noah right away and pulls him up to the attic. Noah says he doesn't feel so good and suddenly just reappears in the attic, now much more agreeable with what Max says.
Just leave the mirror alone, understand?
Whatever you say, Max.
Noah leaves the attic and Max hears what sounds like himself talking to himself, so he darts out scared. The next day, Max gets home from baseball practice and his mom lets him know that Zach and Aaron are upstairs waiting for him. Max rushes upstairs to stop them because he knows what's happening, but Zach is already invisible.
Hey, Max. Where you been? Have a seat.
Max, not wanting to mess with the supernatural anymore, pulls the string to end it. Zach slowly comes back, but he's immediately aggressive and tries to force Max to pull the string again.
Don't be such a wimp, Max. Come on, one last time.
Finally, Zach tosses Max down and pulls the string for him, which the mirror hasn't worked like that before this point, but now it only sends Max off and not both. We see for the first time what the mirror dimension looks like, and it appears that he's now in an Icebreakers commercial. In the other world, Max gets a hand up from a mirror reflection of himself, while Zach and Aaron argue outside. Mirror Max says he's trading places with the real Max, like Zach just did earlier.
It's good here, Max. The cold is good. No!
But he refuses and runs through a confusing montage of objects in the mirror world. Eventually, Max stumbles on a world full of people trapped in the mirror void, including Zach. Aaron on the outside wins her struggle with Mirror Zach and pulls the string, bringing the real Max back. Max tells Aaron to break the mirror, apparently deciding to cut their losses and live with Mirror Zach instead. But after the mirror shatters, fake Zach gets pulled back in and real Zach pops out. Later on in the kitchen, Max and Noah are doing dishes, and Max explains that he's going to seal the wall again, so nobody ever messes with the mirror's remains.
Toss me a cup there, sport.
Since when did you start throwing with your right hand? Noah?
So a little good news and a lot of bad news at the end there. Bad news, Noah is now a mirror clone, and the mirror has reassembled itself. Good news is, they can still get Noah back.
Or, hear me out, Noah throws everybody else in the mirror.
That's also true. That could also work. Normally at this point I would point out the differences between the episode and the book, but this one, not a lot. I mean, it's pretty close one-to-one adaptation. I mean, there's some small little things that don't really affect the plot all that much. I mean, the mirror gets discovered by a dog, but they just kind of write the dog out. And in the book, the little brother breaks the mirror and not Aaron. This episode is wonderfully creepy. It has an iconic setup, the dusty old attic with the old antiques that hold a real threat. The design of that mirror is primo. It's top notch. I'd have that in my house. I also love that Max and Aaron are really cautious about the whole ordeal. As soon as it starts getting weird, they want to just pull the cord and get out. It's a very reasonable response in a genre dominated by unreasonable people. Ultimately, I wish they could have done some more of the invisibility shenanigans. We didn't really get too much. It feels like they kind of tossed a ball back and forth, did some breakfast nook shenanigans, but nothing really too serious. But I get it. I mean, it's an ambitious episode. You have basically an invisibility plot that flips over into a mirror world plot. And then also you have a lot of characters that they really spend the time to balance out, and you get a feel for each of them. So I can't really fault it too much for that, because you got to consider this was all done in 20 minutes. There's not a lot of free time there to kind of, muck about. You got to get to the point and get it done.
You should get to the point.
This guy, man, number one hater. I don't get it. But with that, I'm going to have to give Let's Get Invisible 4 bumps out of 5. Check it out. You won't be regretting that. Just take my word on it. But thank you for tuning in to Viewer Beware. See you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.
Brain freeze. Total vapor lock.